Yeah. Um, I figured I'd talk a little bit about uh, what I think are my triggers and the kind of physiological perspective of when I'm feeling really, really down. And you know what? That trigger piece is hard to pinpoint. I wish I had a reasonable explanation of for when I find myself in a downward spiral. I think sometimes it's a lot easier to know when it's coming than others. Um, for instance, yesterday I was at the grocery store and I was looking for some Parmesan cheese. I didn't want to get the stuff in the dry food section. I wanted to get the real stuff, and I was looking for the Parmesan cheese. And for absolutely no reason, inexplicably, I just got really sad. I just felt alone, lonely. Felt like I didn't want to be anywhere out or seen, and I have no reason for it. Um, and then today, I don't know. I think I slightly recovered from that one, and then today today it was my this is one where there's an more reasonable explanation, where my wife she updated our calendar that we have in our phones of when I'm getting the kids, and she kind of went straight through into 2024, and I've been fighting myself ever since. I've been having conversations in my head and fighting in my head of just the tear, I guess, and the internal battle of whether or not I deserve this or not. It's really hard to explain. It's really hard to describe, but it's like a battle of I'm trying to convince myself that this shouldn't be happening, I guess, to me. But then at the same time, there's this battle that says, well, no, it should, and it's okay that it is. But then it's this fight that it's not. So that's. I wish I had more on the triggers. I really do. But it's really hard, and I wish I had more to say. But like I said, that Parmesan thing just took me by surprise. It's anything where it just makes me think of a memory of any sort right now. But the physiological aspect, when I say that, after I found out, or after she started adding these things into my calendar, and I started getting angry, and that's how it starts for me. Like, I'll get really angry. I'll get angry at myself. I'll get angry at the situation, and I will eventually find myself going lower and lower and lower. And I've noticed this before, but I think like when I'm really down, when I'm really just beating myself down in my head, or when I'm just having a hard time thinking positive or anything like that, one of the main pieces that I find is that I'm just walking and moving so slow. It's this difficulty of finding the motivation to move, even walking, moving my arms to eat, anything like that. Like, it's just, I feel like I'm almost in a slow motion, like I'm in molasses or something. Like, everything just takes so much effort. And so after I found myself getting angry, the other piece with that is the desire to eat and take care. I think I mentioned that before. It tends to go out the window. Like, that desire is just, it fades completely, and I just don't know what to. It's not that I'm not hungry. It's that the hunger doesn't come. Like I could leave it for like 48, 72 hours and nothing changes. I'll just be in this place of no desire to eat. And so when I felt myself getting in that place of anger, when I found that out, I essentially I made some rice, and a colleague of mine, very kind guy, gave me some butter chicken to try with it, and so I scarfed it down pretty good because I knew that there was a slow and a lack of eating coming on. Because after that anger, it's like that cycle. I just go down into the pit, I guess, after that. So I found myself, after I did that, I grabbed some ice cream and I made some cobbler, and so I put those together, and about halfway through I felt it, and I felt myself slowing down. And it's really weird that I can actually pinpoint it, but I can actually like feel myself, not that I can do much about it, but I can feel myself just losing that ability to move at a normal pace. And so I'm taking a bite, and then all of a sudden I just start, what's the point? You know, it just fades. And so the other thing that I find, especially when I'm out, because I'm currently taking the transit bus to work right now, and probably will be for a while, but basically when I'm out in public, when I'm down, I will avoid contact and I'll be looking down. Like I'll find myself just staring at the ground just as much as I can to make sure I'm not running into anybody, make sure I'm not doing, that I'm going to trip over something. I'll look straight at the ground and I will avoid eye contact with everybody. And I think that's my own thing of just feeling shame, I guess. Like I don't want to look at anybody because I'm ashamed of myself. I'm ashamed of who I am. In whatever situation I'm struggling with in my head. With this situation right now, it's worthlessness. And so I'm fighting this in my head, and so I look up, and if I see someone's eyes, I'll feel ashamed that, I shouldn't be looking up, which I know is wrong. Don't get me wrong. I understand that. It's just hard to find that, my way out of that. The other piece I'll find is, this one's pretty obvious, but just thoughts of self-hatred. And again, I've talked about that, but I've really struggled with self-worth, self-hatred in my life, in my past, in my current, and it's something that I'm constantly going through, and it's something that when I'm in that bad spot, it's a really, really easy path to take, to just go and indulge those thoughts and, indulge a pity party. But it's more than that. It's like a shame and a self-ridicule party. It's get worse and worse, and it's not a good thing. So that's another piece. And then finally, I think I noticed this one actually more recently, and that is that when I'm in a downward spiral, and when I'm feeling really bad, and maybe this is comparable because of my desire to self-harm, to make the pain go away when I punch myself or whatever I've done. I will rub my eyes or my head aggressively. When you're tired and you're kind of like, oh, you'll do that, or you'll do that, or you're just kind of like that. Like I'll do that, but I will do so with a lot of pressure and aggressively. Like I'm scratching my face, I will scratch it like I'm trying to make a mark. And perhaps that is because I want to, or because I want to feel pain, or whatever it is. So yeah, those are some of the physiological aspects of it all, and kind of how I navigate. Well, it's not how I navigate, it's what I do. How I navigate is, well, in this particular instance, my first reaction was I need to give this to Jesus. It's the only thing I can do. Like I'm on a fence, and I'm going either way. And if I go one way, it's gonna go very, very badly. And if I go the other way, it's much less bad. So I mean, I need to make that, and that's the first thing that I go to is I need to give this to God, because He can take this, and it's not easy, and I hate it. The situation, I hate giving it up too, because it means that I don't know what's in the cards, or I don't know. I just don't have control anymore, I guess. And not that I had control, but I feel like I don't have control over myself in that. But that's not the case. It's just that I'm giving that control to someone someone that can actually handle that control in any fashion that I'm in, and no matter what it is. But that's kind of my first thought, and what I did, and then I ate, and then I'm just I don't know. I hope I'm finally meeting with my therapist tomorrow, the first time in like a month, because of everything else that transpired. So I hope that goes well, I guess. Well, obviously, I'm still here. I am still here, and I appreciate all the views and all the comments. I never thought I'd impact, quite honestly. I thought I would end at 5, and that was intimidating enough, but I appreciate that people are watching. And so yeah, if I'm still here and I'm in this mess, then you should be too, because it can't be any worse than I'm feeling. Yeah.